Hey guys, Brad Danger here, and have you ever driven past a dealership and just get this weird feeling like, wait, how is that place still open? Like, it's always the same. 3 cars out front, 12 flags flapping, one guy inside who looks like he's been waiting for someone to walk in since the Obama administration, and a big shiny sign that costs more than your house. And the craziest part, sometimes that sign is lying because not every car brand makes it forever. Some of them don't even get a cool death either. They don't go out like a hero. They go out like a phone company you forgot existed. Rest in peace, BlackBerry. One day, you're like, oh yeah, my aunt had one of those, and the next day you realize the brand is gone. The resale value fell through the floor. Parts are on back order until the sun explodes, and the only dealership left is now a Spirit and Halloween. So today, we are talking about car brands that look like they're skating on thin ice. Not these brands are bad, and not these brands make ugly cars. I mean, brands that are staring into the abyss of the automotive industry and hearing it whisper back, hey big guy, you sure you belong here? And to get in spicy, we're stack ranking these by popularity in the US market, because the funniest thing about the car industry is this: you can be a legendary brand with history and cool ads and a fan base and still get clapped by a beige crossover with a good warranty. This is capitalism, baby, and it does not care about your heritage or your feelings. And first up, we gotta start with the brand that used to be cool, like actually cool, and now it feels like it was designed by a corporate committee whose main hobby is canceling fun. Infiniti. Infiniti is the automotive version of a former high school quarterback who still wears his Letterman jacket to the grocery store. Because back in the day, Infiniti was a real problem. It was Nissan's luxury swing at BMW, Lexus, and Mercedes. And when it hit, it hit. You had stuff like the G cars that had the right recipe, rear-wheel drive, decent power, good chassis, and that, I swear I'm not driving a Nissan confidence, but then something happened, and that something was they just stopped trying. The modern Infiniti vibe is basically, here's a leather seat and a screen, please don't ask questions, besa. And the biggest thing you need to understand is that luxury buyers don't forgive mid. If you're a budget brand, you can survive on value. If you're a luxury brand, you survive on desire. Infiniti right now doesn't have enough desire or enough value, and the numbers show it. Infiniti ended 2025 with 52,846 vehicles sold in the US. That might sound like a lot until you realize Toyota sells that many or AV4s in like the time it takes me to say RAV4. And here's the scary part if you're an owner. Infiniti is basically held together by 2 SUVs. The QX60 and the QX80 are doing all the heavy lifting. That's like a band surviving on 2 songs, and when a brand becomes 2 products and vibes, it gets fragile because all it takes is one bad redesign, one ugly pricing strategy, or one corporate decision to cut budget, and boom, your luxury brand becomes a clearance rack. And if you want the reason people don't trust Infiniti anymore, it's simple. They don't know what Infiniti is supposed to be. Is it sporty? Is it soft? Is it techie? Is it old school? Is it a Lexus competitor? Is it an Acura competitor? Is it just Nissan in a suit? And when people don't know what you are, they stop caring that you exist. Okay, now let's talk about a brand that's the opposite. A brand that people still recognize, but nobody can explain why they'd buy one. Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi is like seeing a buddy you used to party with, and now he sells insurance and he's weirdly into kombucha. Because Mitsubishi used to have juice, like real juice. Evo, Clips, Montero. They had cars that made you want to do something irresponsible. And now Mitsubishi's US lineup is basically crossover, crossover, and crossover, but smaller. And yes, I know crossovers make money. I'm not saying crossovers are evil. I'm saying Mitsubishi's crossovers feel like they were designed by someone whose favorite color is printer paper. The brand did 94,754 sales in 2025, which means people are buying them. But here's the issue. They're buying them because they're cheap, not because they're in love. And that is a terrifying place to live as a brand, because if your whole strategy is we're the cheap option, then the second a recession hits, interest rates jump, or incentives dry up, your brand gets punched directly in the mouth. And Mitsubishi's problem is even bigger than that. It's the dealer network, because Mitsubishi doesn't have the kind of dealer density that Honda or Toyota has. And when you buy a car from a smaller brand, you're not just just buying the product, you're buying the support system, service, parts, warranty, processing, loaners. And when those things get sketchy, people don't just stop buying, they stop recommending, and recommendations are the oxygen of these brands, because nobody wakes up and says, man, oh, I've always dreamed of owning a Mitsubishi. They say, my cousin has one and it's been fine. And fine can keep a brand alive until it can't.
Hey guys, real quick, Rocky from New York didn't think he'd win either until he actually did. GTR, cash, flight out here, weekend with us, car shipped home, life changed forever. If you've ever said, I never win anything, this is your moment to prove yourself wrong. Click the pinned comment, sign up, get entered, and go claim your shot. Now, back to the show.
Now let's get into the big one, because this next entry is a brand family, not one badge. And it's a family that sells a lot of cars, but also has the most which one are they killing next energy in the entire industry. And listen, Stellantis as a company isn't going to vanish overnight. They're huge. Stellantis US sales were about 1.26 million vehicles in 2025. That's massive. But that's not the danger. The danger is what happens inside a massive umbrella when parts of it are weak. Because Stellantis is basically a group chat where half the people are contributing and the other half are just posting memes and asking for money. Jeep, strong. Ram, strong. Dodge, complicated but still has identity. And then you look at the other corners of the room and it's like Chrysler sitting there with one vehicle and a 1,000-yard stare. Fiat showing up once every 2 years to say, I'm back, baby, and then disappearing again. Alfa Romeo being cool in theory and questionable in reality. And Maserati. Maserati is the luxury brand that somehow managed to become a meme for depreciation. Like you buy it for I made it energy and then you go to trade it in and the dealer offers you a Subway sandwich and a handshake. And this is what makes Stellantis weird. When they have a hit, it prints money. But when they miss, it's ugly. And there's a very real possibility that Stellantis starts doing what every mega corporation does when things get tight. They cut the emotional brands, the niche brands, the brands that are expensive to maintain, the brands that require engineering and effort, and they keep the ones that sell trucks and SUVs to normal people who don't care what's under the hood as long as it has cup holders. That's not even hate, that's just reality, because at the end of the day, the car industry isn't about passion, it's about what moves units. And Stellantis is the king of, we have too many brands, we should probably delete a few. All right, now we're going to talk about a brand that hurts my soul, because this isn't just a brand struggling. This is a brand with heritage. This is a brand with aura. This is a brand that used to make you feel like you should be wearing a watch that costs more than your car. Jaguar. Jaguar is one of those names that sounds expensive, even if you whisper it. Jaguar, that's not a brand name, that's a vibe. But the modern Jaguar story is basically a tragic movie where the main character is hot, talented, and absolutely cannot stop making bad decisions. Because Jaguar has been in this weird phase where they're basically pressing pause on everything and promising an electric relaunch, and that sounds cool. Until you remember that electric luxury is a knife fight right now, because the high-end EV world is packed. Tesla is everywhere. Porsche is in there. Mercedes is in there. BMW is in there. Lucid is in there. And now you want Jaguar to show up like, hey guys, I'm back after being gone for years? Car and Driver literally described it as a self-induced production pause and questioned if it's a nap or real trouble. And that is a brutal phrase. Self-induced. That's like saying he wasn't fired, he chose to be unemployed. And to be fair, Jaguar's plan could work. It could, but you know what's scary? Even if the plan works, Mitai, there's a window where Jaguar is basically not a functioning brand for normal buyers. And when a brand stops being present, it stops being top of mind. And when it stops being top of mind, it becomes irrelevant. And when you become irrelevant in the auto industry, you die. That's the whole game. Which leads us to the final brand. And this one is the scariest for one reason. If it collapses fast. VinFast. VinFast is a Vietnamese EV company that came into the US market like it was about to become the next Tesla. Big talk, big ambition, big we're changing the world energy. And then reality came flying in like a folding chair off the top rope. Because the problem for EV startups isn't just building a car, it's building a car, building a service network, building parts distribution, building trust, building financing relationships, building software support, and building resale value all at the same time. while competing against the biggest, richest companies on earth. And VinFast has had a very hard time convincing Americans that they should trust them with their family at 70 miles per hour. Their US footprint is tiny. One report cited about 1,413 VinFast registrations in the US through October 2025. That is not a new brand scaling up number. That is a who is buying these puppies number. And here's why it matters. If you're a buyer, a small brand is not automatically a bad buy, but a small brand that's getting slammed in reviews and needs massive incentives and doesn't have deep roots. That's the risky combo, because if they pull out, you don't just lose value, you lose your support. And the EV support part is terrifying because EVs aren't like old gas cars where any random mechanic can keep it running forever. If the software is weird, you need the manufacturer. If the battery system needs service, you need the manufacturer. If the charging architecture gets updated, you need the manufacturer. And if the manufacturer disappears, congrats, you own a complicated rolling iPhone from a company that no longer exists. And sure, VinFast can talk about global deliveries and expansion in showrooms and all that, but the US market is ruthless. You don't get time here. If Americans decide that you're weird, you're pretty much cooked, and that's the big theme with every brand in this video. It's not that they all make the worst cars ever, it's that they all have one of the deadly ingredients: a tiny lineup, a confused identity, weak dealer support, questionable resale, or corporate instability. And when you have too many of those stacked up together, the brand starts feeling like it's one bad year away from getting deleted. And while all this is happening, the strong brands keep doing the boring stuff that wins. Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, they make normal cars that start every time. They have parts, they have dealerships literally everywhere. They have warranties that people actually believe in. And in an era where cars are insanely expensive and insurance is eating everyone alive, peace of mind is the new luxury. Nobody wants a car that's interesting if it's also a financial grenade. So if you're out there shopping right now, just remember, you're not only buying the car, you're buying the future, the support system, the resale, the community, the ability to get it fixed without a 3-month wait and a prayer. And the brands that we talked about today, they're the ones that are making people hesitate. And hesitation is death in the auto industry. So now I want to hear from you. Which brand do you think is the closest to getting wiped off the map? And do you own one of those? Tell me your experience. Was it great? Was it terrible? Did the dealership treat you like family, or did they treat you like you were annoying them by showing up? Drop your comments down below, and if you want more breakdowns like this, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and remember to go to winthisIdealcar.com to get entered to win your dream car plus life-changing cash. I'm Brad Danger. This is Ideal. Like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell one more time. Check out these Ideal vids and promise me one thing: keep living the ideal lifestyle.